What a dump! Hi everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here, and you're watching HerStory, the show where we salute the girls who laid the foundation by applying one. On today's show, we're going to celebrate the performers that made good by being somebody else, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. Now, as drag queens, we often take refuge in being a character that's completely from our own creativity. But today, we're going to go back, way back to the 1960s and 70s, when drag existed solely in bingo halls and under heavy word of mouth, because even being caught as the other gender could get you thrown in jail immediately. However, some performers managed to slip by this rule by means of comedy and extraordinary camp. Now, camp, in its most literal definition, is anything over the top, baroque, over-decorated, and in some cases, poor taste. Some more than others.
Honey Marble, you stand convicted of assholism.
Now, in essence, all drag queens are camp because they're an exaggerated form of themselves. Some celebrities are camp, which ties us back to our main topic. From the 1960s onward to the 1980s, celebrity impersonation was a thing. I think celebrity impersonation is very much in the fabric of drags. Hell, it's in the foundation of drags. And today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the ladies that made good being somebody else. We begin with T.C. Jones. While not the first drag queen to ever do celebrity impersonations, he was the first one ever to get a broad appeal for his impersonations.
One of your own. Are you still paying tribute to Ringo Starr?
Hell, he even appeared on a couple of records. Now, his impersonations ranged from the usual suspects, just the Betty Davises, the Joan Crawfords, Mae West, Tallulah Bankhead, even lesser-known divas like Luella Parsons and Hedda Hopper. Next is Charles Pierce, a male actress from San Francisco, and arguably the most successful performer of this art form. He described himself as a male actress because he detested the term drag queen.
Listen, if I had anything that long, I wouldn't have to be a female impersonator. Sit. Well, look. You've heard of women's wear daily. This is what men wear nightly.
He was a performer, an artiste, an actor. He became these actresses. He didn't just impersonate them. While not the most convincing impersonator, he was by far the funniest.
Oh, I checked into heaven with a gorgeous sailor. Ankles away. The beautiful marine, gung-ho. And St. Peter said, now listen, you three, if you think dirty thoughts up here in heaven, your wings are going to crumple and fall off. I decided to check that one out, honey. I walked past the sailor, and his wings fell off. Good for me. But as he bent over to pick them up, the marine's wings crumpled and fell off.
And he was one of those first ones to really crack the mainstream as far as drag is concerned. He appeared on Laverne and Shirley, Chico and the Man, Designing Women. Hell, he even played a villain on Wonder Woman. But he was never stronger than when he was on stage. His Betty Davis is legendary.
She always got so upset when I used to do jokes about her. Blanche, what's the hardest thing to eat in a vegetable? The wheelchair!
It's still imitated to this day. I dare you to find one Betty Davis impersonator that hasn't used one of Charles Pierce's lines in their act. He had a killer gallery of divas to pull funny lines from, whether it be his turban ladies like Gloria Swanson or his shaky-headed Katharine Hepburn.
I was married to King Henry. He was a bisexual. He liked sex twice a year. I was cinco-sexual. 5 people in a sink and you are cooking!
Well, I got started, as a 9-year-old, dressing up and going to a school party, Halloween, as Mae West. And I just enjoyed dressing up, and I would go up into my grandmother's attic, like most of us, and rummage through all of her old clothes and whatever was up there, and make believe that I was out of Watertown, New York.
Sometimes I'm even my very own date. Not tonight, Charles. You have a headache. In spite of the dress, the finesse, and the poise, I'm one of the girls who's really one of the
From here we move on to the man whom Charles Pierce considered his greatest rival, Craig Russell, a Canadian-born female impersonator. While Charles Pierce's impersonations were more of a jumping off point for more jokes, Craig Russell really tried to become these divas. And not only would he talk like them, he could sing like them too.
A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Craig Russell was wildly successful and toured many countries with his act. He even had his life chronicled in the movie Outrageous.
Oh my God.
Tallulah lives. What the? No autographs, darling. My hands are much too busy.
That's my mother's honeymoon gown.
Wardrobe neglected to tell me these were hand-me-downs. My last picture for Republic.
Based on Margaret Gibson's book, The Butterfly Ward, the film is somewhat fictionalized, but also chronicles the real-life encounter of Craig Russell and author Margaret Gibson. The movie follows hairdresser Alan, who wants to do drag, but is discouraged because of all the lip-syncing he sees going on, and not a whole lot of discernible talent. He wants to sing live. He wants to be a grand diva of the past.
You just idolized Mae West.
Nothing has changed, honey.
What was it about her that you became so compulsive about her?
Well, there are lots of reasons for her success. One of them is you never let a man put anything over on you unless it's an umbrella. And don't take your head off with your clothes. Take it to bed with you.
You went to work for her.
Yeah, but it was fun.
What did she teach you?
At what end? She taught me everything. She taught me that to be a performer, to be a star, you have to be multi-layered. You have to be a little child. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be tough. You have to be silly. You have to be serious. You got to hit all the emotions. You got to hit it on every plane. Try to be as many things to as many people as you can. And if you're lucky, you know, you can slip in and have fun sometimes too. But I don't think of show business as something where you just, you know, put on your duds and go to work. You got to think about things happily all the time. Otherwise, you get a wrinkled face and a very bad attitude.
In the same field as Craig Russell, we have Jim Bailey, a live performer and actor who really invoked the reality of the characters he was portraying. He could bring high drama and comedy and grand diva illusion flair to all of his performances.
I could not have been sweeter. I said, I'd like to see something cheap in a dress. She said, the mirror's to your left.
He could literally transform himself into these women and would go to great pains to look just like them, right down to their contour, to their body shape. He starred in several comedy and even dramatic plays portraying the likes of Bette Davis, Mae West, and even Tallulah Bankhead.
Those who call me evil, wicked, malicious, those are the ones who tell the biggest lies about me. The dozens of abortions, the homosexual affairs, the orgies with cocaine, the nymphomania, the number of husbands I'm supposed to have stolen. These are the ones who have their dirty little affairs in cheap hotel rooms. I am at the least honest in my amours. If I steal someone's husband, I assure her that I'm looking forward to having her as my next lover.
Now, he's highly regarded for his impersonations from his Barbra Streisand, who he appeared as on the Carol Burnett Show.
Well, Barbara, that was really fantastic.
I know.
But everything else pales to his Judy Garland. Absolutely flawless. So incredible that Liza Minnelli once told him herself if he ever stopped doing Judy Garland, how would she ever see her mother perform again? He appeared on many shows from the Carol Burnett Show, Here's Lucy, the animated series Duckman. He appeared on The Tonight Show 14 times. 14, can you imagine?
Watching Barbra Streisand, the hands, the fingers, the talk, and the voice, and you don't lip sync, no. You do the voices of all these people.
I think my approach really is as a character actor. I mean, to get everything, you know what I'm saying? And there's singing involved and studying and makeup. I do my own makeup. And but you see, there's an ingredient that I can't tell you what it. You know, that certain
that makes
it all happen. That makes it all work together. But I think the basis of what I do is character acting, which is an art in itself.
Of course.
And I'd like to end our program with one of the more recent performers, Jimmy Jaymes, known best for his flawless Marilyn Monroe impersonation.
Kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are girls' best friend.
He was among the last breaths of great impersonators to crack the mainstream audience. He appeared a lot on the daytime talk show circuit, shows like Geraldo and Joan Rivers.
Take a good look at Marilyn. Let's see Marilyn. Look at Marilyn. What's not to love here? Marilyn, we can't wait to talk to you.
Hello.
You gonna sing Happy Birthday, Jack? Happy birthday, Mr. President? You like this, huh? You do? Really? You paid money to see this? Huh?
I swear that's Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Jimmy is a beautiful queen and really a treasure chest of voices, from Betty Davis to his Marilyn Monroe. Now, Jimmy eventually hung up the finger waves to focus more on music career, where he enjoyed a lot of success with such hits like Fashionista.
How do you
Now, Vegas performers aside, you may ask yourself, why are there no female impressionists like this today? Well, the answer is there is. You just have to know where to look for them. And honestly, the demand for Betty Davis impersonators has kind of declined throughout the years. Some argue that's because we don't have any stars today, but I beg to differ. We certainly have stars, and we certainly have camp, the likes of Kim Kardashian to Beyonce to even Nicki Minaj to its most extreme. Not a whole lot of drag queens do the divas of yesteryear because, well, there's not a huge demand for Betty Davis or Joan Crawford impersonators anymore. It's really become sort of a niche market, which is sad, but there is a ray of hope in RuPaul's Drag Race's Snatch Game challenge. It really has shown a newer generation that these divas of the past are worth looking up and worth checking out. In cases like Little Edie, it's shown the newer generation that these ladies of yesteryear still have a very broad appeal. It's just a matter of letting the newer generation discover it for themselves. And we as drag queens can serve as ambassadors for that, to let people know more about these divas of the past and why they're still relevant today. We drag queens should serve as the torch bearers for these women. Well, that was my show, kittens. I hope you learned a lot today. And now comes the time where I bid farewell to all of you wonderful people out there in the dark. Come up and see me again sometime. Slow curtain, the end.